Alrighty, folks, big news. This young man did something super special last weekend. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what it means and just have some fun with this. So, Cody, first off, let me wish you congratulations. But why don't you
Thank
just
you.
drop the bomb on everybody? What happened last weekend?
I got my first set of jewelry on my left hand. I am married. Did the thing.
Did the thing. 25 years old, multimillionaire. Now he's locked down. He's married. He's married, man. So what's it been? It's only been about a week or so. Um, Does it feel any different? How's married life been 8, 9 days later?
It took a few days for us to both realize what what really changed. 'Cause nothing changed in the relationship, but the mindset, like, oh, well, actually, everything is combined, and we get to completely pool resources because she's got her own rentals. I've got my own rentals. My rentals have an extra zero on the unit count, but now it's our rentals, and she has her issues. I have my issues. Well, now if she has an issue, I can help, and if
Mm.
I have an issue, she can help because she's got a really strong W-2. So, like, we were just thinking about it for a few days. It's like, wait, my ability to get a residential loan just went up.
Yeah. You
And
can go conventional, Cody. What the heck?
and I get free health insurance. And if she now has a problem on her rentals, like if she has a problem on her single family house or on a quadplex,
Yeah.
it's a rounding error.
Right.
Whereas before it'd be like, well, crap, this is a lot of
Yeah.
my income going to fix this unit. So it is cool.
Yeah.
Both of our lendabilities went up. Her ability to get commercial loans went up
Sure.
substantially. My ability to get residential loans is now possible.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, one of the things, I've been thinking a lot about because I knew we didn't talk last week because you were newly married. We're talking this week. The question I wanted to ask is, I hear Gen Z, traditionally speaking, if you look at the numbers, they're not really in the marrying. I don't know if they want it. It's just everything's going later in life. And you took the walk down the aisle at 25. And it's really funny. Now, the more I'm thinking about this as I'm riffing, you've done things, much earlier than typical for your generation. This is just another example of Cody doing Cody things and Cody being early, I guess.
Yeah, it it is, and people aren't getting married as early because some of them don't feel they're financially or emotionally ready
Mm,
for that. And not
true.
saying I'm 100% ready because I'm not by any means. However, is there ever a perfect time? No. And I think a lot of people want it to be a perfect time or they want to feel like they have more than enough money. And that's
Mm,
not realistic for everybody to have more than enough money.
yeah.
I mean, I still don't have a whole bunch of extra.
Right. Yeah. One of the things I remember early on in relationships with Olivia was I used to have my goals, right? And then at some point it became our goals, right? Has it dawned on you yet that not only do you have, these additional things like residential and commercial loans from her, but now you really need to think about where are we going? What are our things? What are our goals? Has that kind of hit you yet?
Yeah, we've been thinking about that too. And she's very on board and she knows what we're building will have long lasting effects, as do I. I mean, it's going to be really a lot because we live on, we set up some rules very early. So we set these rules before we got married. We said, when we're getting married, we have this account at Chase. We're going to take 2,000 a month from Ashley and 2,000 a month from Cody. And that's going to go on auto pay into this Chase account. And that
Okay.
is the only money we get to live on. And everything else
Oh,
we're going to use to scale towards our goals. So you figure my cost of living now is $2,000 a month, and her cost of living now is $2,000 a month. So combined, it's 4, but that's the total contribution that we are each committing to putting in, and we are not spending any more than that on standard personal. Now, if there's a big health scare or something, yeah, of course
yeah.
we're going to tap the business money, but we are only using. You think about like an operating expense on a business. You have operating expenses, and then you have capex. If there's a
Mhm.
capex item on our life, we'll spend extra money, but we are limiting our monthly cost to that $4,000 a month. And we agreed no car loans, no credit cards. We're not financing trips. We can get the points, but we have to pay it off out of that $4,000 a month.
Yeah. I love
And
this. I absolutely love this.
and that way we can take the rest of our money, which I'm glad we each make more than $2,000 a month.
Mhm.
She's going to be saving like $8,000 a month, and my rentals will be saving similarly. So we get to take that income shovel, I guess, and dig our way out of our hole and start paying down debts. And I am excited to do that. We actually just added up our monthly amortization. It's just over $8,000 a month without doing
In
extra payments.
equity added.
Just in loan pay down.
Loan pay down. Yeah. Wow. That's $100,000 a year, rough and tough.
Yeah. And we each save about that outside of doing any more deals or cash out refinances. And
wow.
That doesn't account for appreciation. But while we could increase our lifestyle a little bit, I still have investor debts to pay off. And she's very on board with that. I mean, there would be some partners, I imagine, they're like, okay, well, we deserve this, or let's go get a nice house, or let's go get nice cars. But we can take that money, and while it's going to suck for a couple more years, once we get out of all the investor debt, I have a feeling, and as does she, because we talk about it quite a bit, that it's going to be like your realization. You look up one day and you're like, wow, we have a lot of cash flow.
I remember that day. I remember being in Europe when that dawned on me that, oh my God, this is real. So I look forward to you having that day. It's really wild when that dawns on you. But I want to ask the audience, folks, if you're still watching this 7 minutes in, I want to know from all of you, do you live on more or less than $4,000 a month? I'm going to guess that more than half my audience lives on more than $4,000 a month. But the reason this is important, and I tell this to all high school seniors, when I talk to high school seniors, I always ask somewhere in the conversation, could you live on $2,000 a month? And both you and your wife, Ashley, did individually live on $2,000 a month or less, combined $4,000. And if you can do that for 5, 7, 10 years, the chances of you being financially free and frankly wealthy are astronomical, right? And that is a superpower, right? Because again, I think a lot of people, and certainly even a lot more people, when you add this another body, right, your husband or your wife, it's tough to have two people on board to live on $4,000 a month. Because again, you guys are looking at your balance sheets, looking at your income statements going, we could do a lot more than what we're doing. And to be on the same page is a superpower, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a great partner, and we both think very differently, but also very similarly about goals and what the money is for. However, even though we have some cash flow and we're starting to save, we still have less money than some people that have 10 rental units because all the money's allocated. It's like the $0 budget. And we have base reserves, and I probably don't even have enough yet. I'm working on that. But we're taking the rest of the money and just paying down debt, because once we get on the other side of that, I don't think we'll be able to spend the money. It's going to be for our family. I already donate a bunch. So we're donating now, and we know what the money's for, but we don't have a lot of extra right now. And that's by design so that we don't do lifestyle.
Well, if you can get through these 2 years, newlyweds, 2 years of, I don't want to call it struggle, but let's call it sacrifice, right? Purposeful sacrifice.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a vastly different position by 27. And I cannot imagine where you'll be at 30. I look forward to knowing you still and talking to you weekly by the time you're 30. It's going to be night and day. I mean, you've heard Dion talk about the great realization, right? Getting the other side. I think he's got 18 units or 16 or something. And he's like, Zuber, I can't spend the money I make now. Right. I think you're going to get to that point where you're like, it's just a snowball. But you got to get through this 2 years of I'll call it sacrifice.
Yeah. I believe our personal cash flow by the time I'm 30 will be around $40,000 a month. I've done the math, and that's without buying more stuff.
Yeah. It's with just what you have. Yeah.
Just what I have. There won't be any investor debts. So I won't have any of those payments. and that's just going to be 40 in free cash flow without me managing any of the properties. So
Yeah.
it's
And you get to, and I can tell you as somebody who's done that, it's really nice. It's really nice to be there, and to be there at 30 instead of 50. That's I mean, just think about it, it's 2 decades. And oh, by the way, the biggest thing I have for you is I'm going to assume, as newlyweds, you and your lovely wife eventually have children.
mhm.
Um, being being there and being present is a gift. Because one of the things that I missed, and I've said this many times, is while I was out grinding and building, I missed Teresa's, certainly her childhood and much of her teens. Because I was only home on Saturday. I would travel to Europe or Asia on Sunday. I would come home late Friday night. I'd be exhausted on Saturday, but that was the only time I had with her. And you're going to be in a totally different position. It's
that
going to be fun to watch.
that's the target, and we plan to have our first kid in about 2 years. So I'll be 27, turning 28, and I'm excited
After
to be able
after
to.
the investor debt is gone, is that reasonable?
I think the investor debt will be gone in the next
Yeah.
year or two. I still have a
Right.
good chunk,
Yeah.
but I'm getting it paid down, and yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think
Yeah.
back to a couple of years ago. If I kept doing what I was doing, I probably could have gotten to 40 faster than at 30 years old. But this is going to be a lot stronger. I mean,
Oh,
at
the
40 grand a
foundation
month,
you're building. Yeah, it's gonna be much stronger.
yeah, it's just different directions. I mean, you can go fast for a while, but if you keep doing that, you can get really burned. And
Hmm.
I am not willing to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen a lot of people just build and do creative financing and just scale, 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 and then the market turns on you. One deal goes sideways, and it starts this nasty cascade of ugliness. And what you've done is purposely simplified structure, simplified debt, so that, not that you can't go to zero, but it's going to take more than one earthquake, right? It'll take an earthquake, a
It
tsunami, and other bad things. Where before it would have been just one event, and you could have been
oh
gone.
it would have, and I'm still far from a perfect foundation. I'm not going to feel rock solid until these investor debts are paid off. But
Mhm.
I went from like over 1 million to down to closer to 600, and
Nice.
so 400 of it's at 5%
Mm.
interest, and the other 205,000 is at 12%. So I'm focused on that first.
Yeah,
But
let's get that one done.
yeah, luckily the smaller one is the higher interest rate.
Right.
But I'm going to focus on getting that out with Ashley, and she is on the same page of let's get our base reserves built up with her W-2, and
Yeah.
my rentals are going to float the rentals and build some reserves over there, and then we're going to take the rest of that money that she's making and start hammering down these payments. I
Nice.
mean, it's W-2, while it's not the end goal, it can definitely be a key to pay those things off faster. And
Do you think Ashley will be retired from the W-2 by the time she's 30?
she is 30. So she
Oh,
just turned 30.
okay. By the time
Yeah,
she's 35, maybe?
that's the target. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's 4 years and 2 months older than me. I always joke when it's this time of year, I'm like, "Hi, you're half a decade." But in all reality, she's about 4 years older than me. And yeah, by the time originally she's like, "Do you think I could retire by 35?" It's like, yes, technically you could retire today, but
Yeah.
she wants to do it with confidence, and she actually likes her job, which is good. So
Yeah.
she says, "I'm going to work for 10 years. I'm going to retire a day before I turn 40."
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Okay. That works. That would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and her birthday is actually the day before our wedding anniversary, so she'll retire right before our 10 year.
Nice. That's amazing. I wish you guys nothing but joy, happiness, goodness. You deserve everything. Cody, what's the last thing you want to leave people with?
If you have the right partner, it is a lot easier. I had good relationships in the past, but it wasn't the same.
Hmm.
They were great people, but their mindset wasn't the same. Their passion wasn't the same for what I was working on. And so having the right partner is really it's
Yeah,
game
having the right
changing
partner
because
is a superpower for sure.
yeah, I would be wealthy by myself, but beyond the money, like that saying of imagine being so poor all you have is money. It is
Yeah.
so cool to have someone who's on the same page.
Yeah. Superpower. Cody, you're amazing. Your wife Ashley's amazing. It's going to be fun to watch you two succeed over the next decade. Take care, man.
All right, thanks.